Government responds to criticism of its decision to import chicken wings in time for the ICC T20 Cricket World Cup. Barbados officially launches a new 24-hour mental health and suicide helpline. Concern about undiagnosed learning problems in school children. And in sports, the West Indies women take a 1-0 lead in the T20 series against Pakistan women.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Pearson Bowen. Prime Minister Mia Motley has thrown out a proposal for cricket to be integrated into Barbados' tourism industry. Prime Minister Motley says the time must come when cruise passengers can visit Kensington Oval or another cricket ground to participate in a T20 match against West Indies cricket legends. She was addressing the CARICOM Regional Cricket Conference, reinvigorating West Indies cricket.
Cruise ship people should be able to come off and be able to play a game knowing that you have at least 10 of the players out of the two teams, 5 and 5, who are former players or young players, for that matter, but usually former, because they want to know, especially with the home porting with the British, they want to know that they're playing with a Desmond Haynes. Desmond, you can run about a little bit still, or whoever.
Prime Minister Motley also says it is about time the region uses the sport's rich history to generate an income stream for retired and active players. She says this is fitting as the region is on the verge of celebrating 100 years in Test cricket in 4 years and commands 40% of the cruise tourism market. Similarly, she says the location of the Government Procurement Department at Holborn Circle, Bridgetown, has the potential to be the home of a future regional cricket company.
Similarly, we need to have a brand, and it should be a regional public company, and I have the exact place for it opposite Kensington Oval. We'll move Government Procurement Department right on the water, but there should be a hotel. I've been saying it, waiting for investors. Legends of the Caribbean. And you have legends of Barbados, legends of Trinidad, legends of Guyana, legends of St. Lucia, legends of Antigua, legends all through. And each one is a hotel, just like Sandals. Everything in the hotel is themed in cricket, from the menus.
Government is tonight sticking to its decision to import chicken wings ahead of the ICC T20 Cricket World Cup, and Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security Indar Ware is dismissing claims the decision will devastate the poultry industry. Lorna Jones has that story.
Government has announced it's importing 2 40-foot containers of chicken wings from the United Kingdom. However, Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security Indar Ware tells CBC News the chicken wings are needed to fill a void in the marketplace. He says many entrepreneurs who sell the product are awaiting the arrival of the shipment.
So I don't know what motivated the individual to carry such a skewed presentation to the press, but the records must show that Barbadians, as long as I am Minister of Agriculture, Barbadians who rely on chicken wings to make a living will have access to them until the local producers can produce the wings that Barbadians need.
Following complaints from poultry producers, the government made the decision several years ago to reduce the amount of imported chicken wings. Mr. Ware says last year, when their importation was banned due to the bird flu outbreak, poultry farmers were unable to fill the void.
I have seen both myself and them sitting in my conference room in November and December to hear them admit that they could not meet demand in Barbados, even though they were producing more chicken than before. So that if you can't reach or meet demand in Barbados, and they were very clear to blame the increased demand on the tourism arrivals, and they were also very clear to state that people are buying in bulk, and it's putting them under pressure, and that because of the high mortality rate, we needed to import some chicken to go into Christmas. Our agreement, we sat, we spoke, we agreed.
The minister notes, going forward, government is prepared to help poultry producers improve their efficiencies. Lorna Jones, CBC News.
The new 24-hour hotline to help people struggling with mental health and suicidal issues has been officially launched. It's called Lifeline Barbados, and it can be accessed via 536-4500. Minister of State in the Ministry of Health, Davidson Ishmael, says the line, which was in operation since February, has received over 300 calls to date. He adds it is being manned by 15 trained personnel.
I can confirm that the entire hotline staff have been trained to perform their critical functions. With the support of our strategic partner, PAHO, WHO, the ministry was able to engage the services of an international consultant to develop the standard operating procedures and to train the staff in the hotline in helpline crisis intervention techniques. Consequently, the staff have the capacity to do the following: build a relationship with the caller, conduct quick risk assessments and make the appropriate intervention, create an environment that encourages the caller to identify resources and solutions for themselves, build hope, and of course, to help them develop plans of action in collaboration with the caller.
Mr. Ishmael believes the helpline will strengthen the response given the demand for mental health services in the post-COVID-19 period.
With reference again to the post-COVID-19 realities, I wish to share that local health statistics show that on average, twice as many persons have sought out mental health services at our multiple polyclinics as compared to the pre-COVID years. Lifeline Barbados has been established based on international best practice and guidelines, and it is anticipated that it will further enhance our national response to mental health challenges, allowing for immediate and appropriate interventions and follow-up.
The Barbados Association of Principals of Public Secondary Schools has called attention to undiagnosed learning problems in school children. President Stephen Jackman says some children are having great difficulty in performing at the level expected. This was conveyed during the Meet Me Under the Streetlight Let's Talk series.
Where I was at the time, this was the success. The special needs and reading specialist was able to take those children where they were and using the process writing approach, start them telling their stories, and they started them in the language that they knew and they moved them to the language that they wanted. And it went from other people coming and seeing them and seeing the dancing to the journals that they wrote being used as the reading material to start the other ones coming into the program. Yes. Right? And that is how we did it.
We're also being told that teachers have become creative in planning and executing their lessons to accommodate students with undiagnosed learning disabilities or learning difficulties. Vice President of the Barbados Association of Guidance Counselors, Shernell Clark, says this is done to measure the students' success. Ms. Clark is the guidance counselor at the Darrell Jordan Secondary School.
You will have some that are coming in that are not even at the level of first form or an 11-year-old. You have some that are way below that standard, even only at level 3 and level 4. Or sometimes below. So each child that comes into us at the first form, a diagnostic test is done for them to see what level they're at in terms of their literacy and their numeracy skills as well. So we have to make sure that we know where they're at, so that we can, for those persons who need it and will go through the learning support program, theirs is tailored for them.
Meanwhile, a senior educator suggests there is a misconception about some Barbadians about self-employment. It's the view of the principal of the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology, Ian Drakes. Mr. Drakes also believes entrepreneurs need to continually market themselves.
What self-employment? Sit down home and no client come to you.
and say I want something done. Let me hear how self will be employed. So
that will be unemployed.
And those are the young persons that come to us and say, but I want me a business. Yes, but you gotta understand, you reading and writing and interacting with people and socializing to get the job and get it done well.
We'll take a break here, but coming up, the Barbados Workers Union is seeing a rise in its membership. In spite of the many industrial and working debates over the last year, the Barbados Workers Union membership continues to grow. General Secretary Tony Moore says the BWU has been able to consolidate in some divisions and has seen new ones join the rank and file over the last year. But she's calling for more divisions to become fully unionized.
It's a deliberate focus of ours to let members understand it is not sufficient to be a member of the union, but we need divisions unionized. We need them solidly organized because that is where our strength comes. There are divisions that over the years would have remained somewhat strong even although members had diminished. And a cry of a number of our members is that, for instance, we limit the opportunity for people who are not members of a bargaining unit not to be able to benefit from what we are able to negotiate for the bargaining unit.
Ms. Moore was speaking during a walkthrough of the National Botanical Gardens for the BWU's May Day celebrations. She says this year's May Day event promises to be bigger and better than last year's, with more attractions and incentives and a jam session hosted by the National Cultural Foundation. Additionally, Communications and Information Manager Shane Jones says the union's Bring a New Colleague program has been reaping dividends as more younger members have been signing up.
What we are extremely pleased about is the age of a lot of the new members coming in. We're getting a lot of young members coming in, and that shows a resurgence and a rebirth within the Barbados Workers Union. And since we've streamlined the processes and we've had online payment, we have the first pay payment and well there's the forms online. We've seen a lot of people now having, not having to worry about the management, and it's a lot of younger people. And to me, that is a powerful, powerful statement for what's going on within the Barbados Workers Union.
The creation of a safe workplace culture must be seen as a collaborative effort. This reminder is coming from Vice President of the BWU Executive Council, Howard Griffith, who says all players must be involved in the shared process of creating and maintaining a safe, healthy working environment. Mr. Griffith was speaking at the opening of the BWU's 360 Symposium.
Especially ones that are in decision-making positions, are able to sit down here and understand clearly that it is not your responsibility to look after the interests of the staff at work, but it's a shared responsibility. Everybody in here and outside of here has a significant responsibility to make sure that all of the staff at your respective workplaces gets back home to their respective families safely. Every one of us. It is not mine. It's not the General Secretary Tony Moore. It's not Honorable Prime Minister Mia Motley. Individual responsibility. It's every single person's responsibility.
More Barbadians are being diagnosed with asthma in their 40s and 50s. This has been revealed by head of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital's respiratory unit, Dr. Dawn Aline. Dr. Aline, who is a pulmonologist, intensivist, and also head of the Department of Medicine, notes traditionally in Barbados, individuals presented with asthma in childhood and either grow out of it as they got older, or lived with it as adults. However, this has changed. She revealed the incidence of asthma in the Caribbean, including Barbados, has increased 17-fold since the 1970s. These trends are correlated with the increase in Sahara dust plumes and the frequency of the dust in the atmosphere. She further notes about 20% of the local population had asthma. A St. James farmer is on a mission to see every household in Barbados grow at least one pineapple so that the country can chop its import bill for the fruit. In his most recent interview with CBC News, Devon Slater stressed he is not giving up on his quest to train people of all ages on how to grow the fruit. Rianne Phillips tells us more.
if we come into a planting system in Barbados, remember we say rice can't grow in Barbados, rice growing now, right? They say pineapple couldn't grow in Barbados, pineapple growing with me. So only people have to try.
And after 6 years of consistent efforts, the St. James farmer has amassed over 3,000 plants and 7 different varieties of pineapples.
Every year now, I'm producing different variety. The hummingbird, right? The hummingbird is the one that pollinates from one flowers to the other. So I get in different breed. So that's why I come up with all different breed. You know, we see like we have the red, we have the cone, we have sugar sweet, we got honeydew, and we got unknown red, and also the Hawaii, right, and all those.
Given his successes, Mr. Slater is moving to share his knowledge with others.
I give the St. Silas School some plants so they are growing, and St. Leonard School did come here already, and St. Silas. And from one of these ministry, a lady bring some people from there come here, and those children was happy when they leave. So they even said that they want to come back again. So I got to invite them back to the field another time. So I got other school that I can bring in.
He believes officials can capitalize on different soil profiles across the island, particularly those in the east, to create more pineapple farms.
I look at St. Andrew, and I believe St. Andrew have a quality, the sun, right? Sunny area, and also the kind of soil that down there, right? That soil keep water, and pineapple will do good down there because there's a good soil along at St. Andrew.
So far, Mr. Slater has trained over 100 people, and he's hoping to increase that number significantly. Rianne Phillips, CBC News.
The Constitutional Reform Commission is to present its written report to the President of Barbados by June the 30th. Director General Governance Gail Atkins says the Commission has been granted another extension to continue its work. That extension will allow the CRC to meet with the Cabinet of Barbados and the parliamentary opposition, which is expected to make a submission. Ms. Atkins says during this time, the Commission is expected to complete its report on the recommendations for the making of a constitution for the Republic of Barbados and the draft constitution bill. In other news now, Barbadians are gearing up in their numbers for an action-packed weekend. Starting tonight, they'll be treated to the Barbados Reggae Weekend Vintage Show in the National Botanical Gardens. A check at the National Botanical Gardens earlier today saw last-minute preparations and the band going through its spaces. Meanwhile, a videographer was on hand at the Grantley Adams International Airport to capture the arrival of some of the entertainers for the Caribbean Music Festival at the Farley Hill National Park on Sunday. Among them, Nigerian singer and songwriter Joe Boy.
We not go far, we are go, we go when you go know. All of the blessings follow my heart. The Caribbean Music Festival this Sunday. Come through, I will be there. Yo, welcome on, guys. It's Joe Boy, get Joe Boy Bonded. Keep watching CBC. Let's go.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
And joining us tonight with Sports Night is Damien Best. Damien, good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you, Pearson. Well, organizers of the Caribbean Premier League have lost millions of US dollars in revenue over the last decade. This was revealed by the CEO of CPL, Pete Russell, as he addressed officials and various stakeholders on day 2 of the CARICOM Regional Cricket Conference titled Reinvigorating West Indies Cricket, being held in Trinidad and Tobago.
Over the past 11 years, cumulative losses across both the league and franchises stands at close to $40 million US. Dennis O'Brien and Digicel have been the principal investors, not only investing in the league from day one, but they also spent money on sponsorship and media rights. The franchises have also pumped in significant money that helps pay players and coaches, as well as investing in local businesses around the region that help make the games happen. All the franchises have made losses. So on the positive side, Cricket West Indies have been paid close to $17 million in sanction fees. So over the past 12 years, CPL would be one of CWI's largest domestic commercial partners. Caribbean players have taken home $27.7 million in player salaries since the tournament's inception.
Russell also says each year it takes approximately $25 million to run the CPL with no financial burden placed on Cricket West Indies. He made the comment against the backdrop that governments across the region have been urging both parties to renegotiate the contract for the tournament, which stands at 50 years.
What is interesting is that other leagues around the world are following the lead of CWI. They're also looking for third-party investors to help fund their leagues. The English Cricket Board are in the process of selling the 100. The Australian Cricket Board are courting outside investors for the Big Bash. Cricket South Africa sold all their rights to host broadcaster SuperSport. And the new American league, Major League Cricket, is 100% privately owned. In time, only the IPL will end up being 100% owned by its domestic board. And that is simply because they can afford to do so.
The Business Report is brought to you with the kind compliments of the National Insurance and Social Security Service. More than a contribution, it's your lifeline.
Well, on this World Intellectual Property Day, local artists and creatives have been told it's not enough to simply register their copyright to protect their work. Deputy Registrar, Corporate Affairs and Intellectual Property Office, Tamar Grant, wants them to become aware of how they can exploit their intellectual property and how to protect it.
For example, if you're going to be conducting business, contracts become important. And this is where you as the creative need to know what you want to get out of the work that you have created and what is beneficial to you. Some contracts may simply be a case of, I want to sell my work and I would like to get the highest price possible for it. But it may be more beneficial that instead of just selling it outright, you may want to retain the royalties. So you need to know what kind of clauses should be included into that contract. So this is where knowledge about intellectual property and how you can exploit it becomes important. And you should, as a creative, consult with a lawyer or someone who is in entertainment business or in the creative fields.
World Intellectual Property Day aims to highlight how patents, trademarks, copyrights and other forms of intellectual property protection contribute to economic development and cultural advancement globally. One of the long-standing family-run businesses here in Barbados is moving to offer a helping hand to local entrepreneurs. It's the Globe Drive-In, and they're rolling out a weekly Saturday marketplace at that Adams Castle property. The next edition is slated for tomorrow, and assistant to the manager, Samantha Ali, says they have over 25 small businesses on board.
We know the Globe Drive-In is a large, peaceful and serene space located in the busy Vauxhall, Kendall area in Christchurch. We wanted to expand the use of the venue, so we tested an event-type market, one last year and another one a short while ago, and we feel that we're now in a position to transition to our end goal of a weekly marketplace, giving these small entrepreneurs more growth opportunities to ply their trade weekly as opposed to monthly. This means a more intimate number of vendors, around 25 to 30. The vendors also can take advantage of booking at lower rates for more weeks within the month that they book.
Back into the sports nights, back to Damien Best.
Thanks so much, Pearson. Some football news. Britain's Hill stunned Paradise by inflicting a 3-0 defeat on the Dover-based team when the BFA Premier League continued at the Wildy Turf last night. Meanwhile, leaders Weymouth Wales cruised to a 3-1 win over Empire. CBC's Anne Margaret Boyce reports.
Thursday night BFA Premier League action. Britain's Hill in red versus Paradise. Let's take in some of the first half. Britain's Hill looking to return to winning ways, moving forward with possession early on. Bit of a half chance to get the ball on target, but this one goes wide. The score stayed 0-0 until the verge of halftime when Britain's Hill took the lead. Rommel Bino with the reverse pass to Sharon Hoyt, who finds the roof of the net. Britain's Hill 1, Paradise 0 at the break. Britain's Hill were dominating the match, having gotten the advantage as Paradise failed to create meaningful goal-scoring opportunities. and there was no surprise when Britons Hill doubled their lead. Cross along the carpet, and the tackle ricochets off from Albino. He's hurt in the process, but nevertheless, Paradise in trouble. Paradise had the perfect chance to provide a lifeline with this set-piece play. O'Casey Lade heads it into the danger zone, and the shot is tamed. That perhaps summed up Paradise's night, and Britons Hill rubbed more salt in the wound in the 90th minute. Gerard Matsia splits the defense with this lovely through ball to Hoyt, who tucks it away. Yellow card for the celebration, but he won't mind. Britons Hill at their brilliant best, defeating Paradise 3-0. Second match, the nightcap fixture featuring Weymouth Wales in green against Empire. All level up until the 34th minute. Empire threatening, and it forces this to happen. Own goal off Andre Applewhite, and the Premier League leaders were behind. Empire lead 1-0, and there's a sarcastic smile on the face of Akeem Hill. 6 minutes later, and Wales were back on level terms. Nadre Butcher with the cross. It turns into a shot and goes into the back of the net. That's 1-1. 9 minutes into the second half, and Wales were given the golden opportunity to go ahead. Nice passage of play results in this. Referee Edwin Adams points to the spot. That's a penalty, and the culprit goes into the book. Shaquille Stewart then stepped up and sent the keeper the wrong way. 2-1 in favour of Wales, who added a third in the 68th minute to stay top of the league. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Yeah, thanks, Anmar. Finally, Knapsack Boys champions Williams Industries West Terrace Primary Tigers celebrated their win today with a motorcade. CBC's Amory Burke has the story.
That's right, West Terrace Tigers would have claimed the boys' title at Knapsack 2024, and this morning it was celebration time. There was a short photo op session before the team boarded the buses that will take them through the Warrens and Welches area, en route to a stop at the home of their title sponsors, Williams Industries in Cane Garden. Member of Parliament for St. James South and Minister of State in Education Sandra Husbands was also there to see the victorious athletes off.
I'm so pleased this morning to be here with the West Terrace Tigers. They did such an excellent job at the Knapsack Games, and I'm so very proud of the work they've done. I want to be able to make sure we can encourage our children to develop their skills in sports, and that sports can take them to a new level and open career opportunities for them.
On arrival at Williams Industries, the team led by their mascot was greeted by staff who came out to interact and join the celebration. Nasir Harper, Sales and Marketing Manager at BRC West Indies Limited, part of the Williams Industries conglomerate, as well as Kevin Thompson, the Technical Sales Assistant, lauded the team for their success.
On behalf of Williams Industries, we would like to say congratulations to West Terrace, and that we hope that this victory will not be just for last year's Knapsack, but will continue for years to come.
We are very proud to be here with West Terrace Primary as they celebrate their victory in the Knapsack this year. And as my manager said, we hope that this victory continues for years. West Terrace Tigers, winners! Let's go! Winners!
Yeah. So the little kings of Knapsack got their time to celebrate. Anne-Marie Burke, CBC Sports.
That's our time tonight. Thank you for spending it with us. I'm Pearson Bowen. For the crew, to all of you, good night. Have a wonderful weekend.